All right, dude. Well, since we're two loser beggars, I thought maybe we would explore some email. What do you think?
All right, I'm in.
It's because we have had some email that's kind of accumulated over the last couple of weeks, obviously because of your partying ways.
Because I like to party.
So we have to catch up with the fans.
All right.
So let's play our bumper for begging for email.
All right.
It's time for the Classic Metal Show to start begging for email.
What the hell is email?
Death sent me an email.
Well, when you figure it out, email me.
And here's your loser beggars, Neely and Chris.
You've got mail.
All right. Well, 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
when we were doing almost a 2-hour segment with the metal experts,
Yes.
our good friend Rain City Metal called in during the show.
He did?
He was so appalled by the stupidity of the metal experts. His disgust was just let me use the word. His disgust was so unprecedented about the horrific stupidity of the metal experts.
Yeah, they're pretty dumb.
But apparently, he took the time out to write you a personal email.
Well, no, it's addressed to me and you.
Oh, really? To me, too?
It just came in through the Facebook.
Okay.
And, since you won't get into Facebook, then you can't see.
Well, let me just relate a Facebook story to you.
Okay.
One of the reasons I just won't be a part of it.
Okay.
I was talking to a friend earlier this week,
Yeah.
and she was telling me that her daughter and family went out to a restaurant and experienced food poisoning.
Okay.
That ended up on the Facebook.
Sure.
My thought, as a rational, logical, reasonable person,
Yeah.
if you're doubled over in pain due to food poisoning, at what point do you go, hurry up, get on the Google machine, pull up the Facebook, and tell everybody about our food poisoning experience?
See, dude, clearly you're not informed. You do it on your phone.
Oh, well, again, this is the thing. My first thought about, man, I'm really doubled over in pain and I'm sick.
Yeah.
Give me something to relieve the pain. I'm going to sleep. I'm
but
not
you have to
thinking
sleep.
I've got to put this on the Facebook where everybody and their brother can see it.
Dude, there's that period of time between when you take the medicine and when it actually starts working. And at that moment, you've got to fill your time with something.
Okay.
So that's when you throw that post up there on Facebook so everybody can share your pain with you.
Oh, I see.
Come on, man.
It's a communal thing.
It is. It's about being the social. You share your good and your bad.
Well, personally, I have no use for that.
I love it.
See, if I ever join Facebook, which is infinitesimal, how do you like
Right.
that for a word?
There it is. That's a $5 word.
Every time I take a big shit, I'm going to use my iPhone. I'm going to take a picture of it. I'm going to put it up on Facebook, and I'm going to go, "Hey, everybody! I just took a big shit. Celebrate with me." That's the extent it's going to go.
Come on. I think that alone warrants a page.
Yeah, sure.
Sadly, I think if you did that and you started a Facebook fan page for Neely's Shits, you'd end up with 1,000 fans.
Yeah, I'd be just like Chuck Negron's cock.
Too funny.
Right. So anyway, we got an email from Rain City Metal via the Facebook, and what does he have to say?
He says, "Hey, Chris and Neely. I just listened to the Talking Metal segment and was laughing my ass off. I thought my angry call was pretty funny.
I did too. I agree. I laughed about that several times over the week.
Me too. Chris is in pain from laughing so hard. Very true. That call had me cracking up.
It was funny because the level of disgust and disdain that he expressed over the phone, that was very genuine.
It really was.
It really was. He was so appalled at the stupidity of these two knuckleheads over there and their co-host Bud Friendly that he just could not hold back and had to just vent and spew his anger and disdain for his two idiots.
Right.
It's just like, how in the world do I share a planet with people as dumb as these two?
I might have to breathe the same air that they breathed at one point.
Right. Somebody needs some chlorine in their gene pool, Emily.
Damn.
So go ahead.
I like how the new less angry Aiken has been accommodated for by a more angry Rain City Metal and an even angrier MOL.
Okay, so the anger and the hate and the poison has been more or less, you passed the torch, I think is what he's trying to say.
I've transferred it to him and MOL.
Okay.
Fucking funny.
Well, I'll agree with that.
There you go. I agree. And now here's the good part. Oh, and Chris, I went through a divorce and had a kid with my ex. It did not take me 5 years to sleep regular.
Okay, so everybody's worrying about your sleeping habits now.
Everybody's worried about if I'm asleep or awake.
Right.
I just needed to hook up with someone else, which I did, and after that I had no problem sleeping. So, really, the key to this is pussy?
Well, basically, either pussy or a good blowjob prior to laying your coconut head down on the pillow and closing your eyes works wonders.
Well, then I should have gotten some sleep here. Right? I've had a couple of that.
Yeah, but this has to be consistent on a nightly basis.
Oh, it has to be like nightly.
Nightly basis.
And I need to get a bigger bottle of chloroform.
Right.
That was just my experience. No doubt it was a tough time, but it gets better. Hail and kill, Rain City Metal.
Look at Rain City looking out for your well-being.
Yeah, but he gets a fail for this email.
How so?
He fails for this email.
Because he didn't mention hand job?
He didn't give it a hand job.
He didn't say hand job.
He did not give this email a hand job.
So he didn't sign off his email with hand job.
Correct.
Wow.
Fail. That's a failure. Sorry, Rain City. You're not allowed to call this week.
Nice.
He's banned.
Okay. Well, speaking of ban, here's somebody's with the word ban in their name.
All right.
Bob Nalbandian.
Okay.
I'm trying to make a segue here.
What a segue that was. That was fantastic.
Sure. Well, anyway, our good friend Bob Nalbandian of Skull Sessions.
Yeah.
He apparently has taken it upon himself to start working on a new project.
Yes, he does. And I can't wait to, or yes, he has. And I can't wait to see it. It sounds awesome.
Well, it sounds awesome. It's kind of picking up where Mr. Dunn.
Yeah, Sam Dunn.
Has kind of, started the thing with documentaries and whatnot.
Sure.
Now, I hooked up with Bob in L.A. a couple years ago, and, he's a good dude. He knows a lot of people, ran a fanzine, I guess. Would you call his magazine that he did back in the 80s a fanzine? Or?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, so he did a fanzine back in the 80s, and he's been actively involved in, his passion for hard rock, heavy metal, if you will, for, 25 years or so.
Right.
So I guess, and I wasn't even aware of this until I got this email the other day, but apparently he's doing kind of a documentary thing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And he's tracking down various people who live in the LA area who are talking about their early days in their bands. And one of the guys that he hooked up with, and I know people are going to be disappointed with me if I don't play the famous bumper.
Okay.
So I gotta play my bumper.
All right.
Because if I don't, people are gonna say, "Why aren't you playing the bumper?"
You can't talk about that without the bumper.
So I'm gonna play the bumper, and then I can talk about this.
All right.
So here's what you're in store for.
Hey, it's been 5 minutes, and it's time now for Neely to talk Dokken on the Classic Metal Show.
So anyway, our good friend Bob Nalbandian sent in an email. I don't know if this is meant for the show or not, but there's nothing in it that I don't think he cares if he shares with us.
Right.
Neely and Mr. Aiken. Isn't that funny? He calls me Neely and calls you Mr. Aiken.
I think that's the appropriate amount of respect for both of us.
He goes, "Hope all is well, my friends."
All right. I hope all is well with you too, Bob.
I wanted to say thanks for the plug a couple of weeks back on Talking Metal episode you did.
Do you remember this?
I think we may have said something to the effect that Bob, at least when he does his show, he's very coherent and knows what he's talking about, and as opposed to these two dopes or something. Or if you want to hear a good metal podcast, listen to Bob or something. I think we said something to that effect.
Okay, that's fine. I just don't remember it.
Yeah. He said, "I missed last week's show, so you have to go on Spreaker to catch the podcast since they're not up on iTunes yet." Well, the reason they're not up on iTunes is because Chris has a full social schedule. And we had to run an archive show, Bob, so there won't be any Spreaker episodes.
Look, I had 25 hours of drinking straight to do. I was very busy.
You were very busy.
I went to literally, not to change topics, but literally from 2 in the afternoon till 3 in the afternoon, nonstop.
Okay.
3 in the afternoon Sunday from Saturday.
Right.
It was a party.
Okay,
Woo.
Sounds like it. He said, "I also forgot to tell you, I interviewed your buddy Don Dokken for our upcoming LA Metal documentary. We talked strictly about the early years, and Don was awesome with exclamation point.
Wow, that's real awesome.
Great stories, which you'll see when the documentary comes out early next year." Well, let me remind you, Bob, what you said about Don Dokken.
Okay.
Don Dokken can't do anything heavy. His voice, he is the most unmetal guy around.
Don't bring me down. Don't bring me down.
Remember that, Bob?
I don't think that was very nice of you to do that to our friend.
So anyway, he says... So anyway, we have a trip to Vegas next week to do a couple more interviews and then to do editing process. The footage we have so far is amazing. Amazing. Maybe he is one of the metal experts.
It could be.
I'll share with you more soon.
All right, good.
Actually, the reason for this email is regarding a killer new band from Dallas, Texas I'm working with called 33 Love Child. Who else? Now, who do we know who lives in Texas who's like calling himself the Love Child?
The Love Child?
Yes.
Who?
Think about it. Somebody
in Texas?
Someone in Texas.
Let's see. There's Texas border. Is it a fan?
Former fan.
I'm lost. I don't know.
Texas. Someone in Texas who's...
The Nomad?
Ding, 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 ding.
Did he call himself the Love Child?
Let me remind you here.
All right.
As to the Nomad and his affection for the Love Child.
All right. I don't remember.
How could you... Well, again, you've been away from the show.
Yeah, and I cast out bad thoughts, so...
Okay. So let me play this real quick here. I'm trying to find it real quick. I know I have it.
Did you know my brain doesn't work past today?
Let me see here. Here we go.
All right.
Howdy, boys. This is the Nomad from somewhere in Texas. And believe it or not, I'm not requesting Hellstar, even though it would be nice. How about some Accept tonight? Preferably Love Child, since that's what the ladies call me. The Love Child. Now, I know you'll have a blast with that one. Have a good show. I'm enjoying it. Cheers. Talk to you later.
The Love Child.
The ladies call him the Love Child?
Well, you know why the ladies call him the Love Child.
Enlighten me here.
Well, you know what? I actually have actual audio of the Nomad talking with a lady.
Okay.
The exact time when he got the nickname the Love Child.
Okay.
Here it is.
So, how big is your dick?
Well, it's 1 inch.
That's it, huh?
Yeah.
He's hung like a child, huh?
Yeah, he's the Love Child, all right.
Yeah.
Hung like an 8-year-old.
Very nice.
I do not remember that.
So being from Texas and Bob's friend's band called 33 Love Child, that just kind of sent shivers through my spine.
That's funny. I can't believe I don't remember that.
There's
That's
just
pretty
too
good
much
stuff.
coincidental material there.
Maybe it's him. Maybe it's his new band.
Great band, and the vocalist Whiskey. That's Whiskey.
Whiskey's his name?
Also known as Stanley Rose.
Stanley Rose or Whiskey. I'd go by Whiskey too, I think.
It's an old friend.
All right.
I hooked him up with Marty Friedman years ago, and he did vocals on Marty's solo album, Obsession.
Okay.
But hasn't done a whole lot since.
And do you really count that as a whole lot during? Because nobody cared about a Marty solo record.
Yeah, isn't he over in Japan now?
Yeah, now he's in Japan doing like TV shows or
He's
something.
like doing kabuki music or something.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have the actual CD pressed yet, and we'll send it to you, yada, yada, yada. If you'd like to interview him, he's got a great personality for radio, so on and so forth.
All right, good.
So anyway, I emailed Bob back.
Okay.
And I said, hey, Bob, good to hear from you. Glad to know you're still going strong with Skull Sessions as well as additional projects.
Right.
So you spoke with Don. Very cool. Did you talk about me? Being that Don was cool to you and gave you some good stories, aren't you ashamed you dissed him a couple of years ago for not being a good singer? Shame, Bob. Shame.
That's great.
Glad to know you interviewed him. I can't wait to see the footage. Of course, I'll check out your friend and Love Child. I'll let you know what I think.
Right.
As far as Talking Metal goes, glad to see those guys continue to be the reigning dopes of metal. They always give us something to talk about. It's hard to believe those two guys get through life on their own. Now Mark Strigl is procreating and further polluting the gene pool. Looks like we need a heavy dose of chlorine. Keep rocking, Bob. You're welcome on the show anytime. So I wrote him back.
All right.
You know, he made sure he rubbed his nose in
That's so funny.
the fact that he dissed our good friend Don and said, he can't do anything. And then he says, Neely, yes, still going to continue Skull Sessions as well as SWHR podcast.
Right. Shockwave's Hard Radio.
Right. Just taking a bit of a break since this documentary is consuming all my time these days, but I'm really enjoying it. Yes, Don was super and cool indeed. Yeah. See, that's one side of Don that most people don't know. You and I know.
Right.
Don, I love that guy.
He's awesome, man.
He will tell you stories for days.
And even if he hasn't slept in days, He'll stay up to tell stories.
Listen to this. I was surprised how open he was to talk about the early years. Yes. Like the goalie in Slapshot, I feel ashamed.
Well, dude, I know you've obviously done this, but it's amazing to me. Don will call me every once in a while with some web shit that we got to do.
Sure.
Just, for whatever reason, he'll just give me a call and be like, yeah, we got to do X or Y or Z, whatever it is. And then we end up on the phone for 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, and he'll just spew.
And it's him. It's as much as I talk, it's him.
Right.
He is just holding court for hours, just telling stories from the day, man. Fucking, I have heard some shit about George Lynch that I wish to God I could bring to the show. I would imagine just on Dawkins stories between you and I, we could do 2 months worth of shows.
Sure, absolutely.
Easily.
Right.
And they're all doozies, man. One of these days we're going to get him. When he officially retires, we're shedding it. We're selling it all.
Oh, yeah. You're going to write his book.
I am going to write his book, probably.
You know it.
I should probably reach out to him and see if he wants to do that.
I know his thoughts on it. And like you said, he won't do it until he officially retires. Because he's got the dirt, man.
Yeah, I know. He's got some great stories.
So anyway, I did mention you and Chris to Don, and he gave me an evil look. Kidding. Actually, he said, oh, yes, I took over their show a couple of weeks ago.
Nice.
By the way, I wore my Classic Metal Show t-shirt on that interview, so hopefully there will be some segments in it with me in the picture wearing it.
Nice. I hope so.
Yeah, the Talking Metal episode was hilarious. Can't believe those guys continually put out podcasts of such brainless nonsense. At least when Mark was doing interviews, it was listenable, but John is such a drunken goofball. Thanks, Neely. I may have to take you up on the offer on being on the show again. By the way, have you heard the band Hessler from Chicago? Total 80s hair metal style, very hot blonde chick singer. Ooh. They're from Chicago, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway.
Might have to look into some Hessler.
So anyway, he said that he hooked up his buddy Lenny Spickle.
Lenny Spickle.
Lenny Spickle.
Nice name, Lenny.
Formerly
in school, did you?
Your name is Lenny Spickle. Have a good time. Former Eden guitarist who I managed in the 80s, a gig bassist now for Snoo.
Oh, nice.
I guess he's taking over for Willie Bass. I didn't know Willie Bass was in Snoo.
Willie Bass was in Snoo?
That's what he says. I guess he's taking over from Willie Bass.
What the hell is going on at the bass position in Snoo?
So if you want to talk to him, maybe we'll both call in. So Snoo you, and this middle finger is for you, pal.
Did he write that?
That's what he signed his email with.
All right, I love that he threw in an Infirmary Kids reference. Awesome.
So Snoo you, and this middle finger is for you, pal.
Now, don't you think that the Infirmary Kids should be thanking us? Bob's on the other side of the country. He knows of the Infirmary Kids from stupid Lima, Ohio.
Right. Thanks, Neely, and talk to you soon.
Awesome.
So there you are.
That's a fantastic email string.
So I busted him out on the Don Dawkins stuff.
It's great.
Since he totally dissed him.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a major diss.
Yeah, it was. It was a total smash.
It was. He smashed him. He can't do anything right. He can't even sing metal. He sucks.
He sucks.
Right. So anyway. So, one more email real quick, and then I'm going to ask you about the whole Infirmary Kids thing.
All right.
So real quick, I need to get to this.
And now, it's time for another lengthy email from Mark Nero.
I know you love this segment.
I really don't.
I know you do. I know you love it.
No, I don't. But it does sort of find its way to our podcast every week.
Come on, dude. Come on, cut Mr. Nero a break.
Look, Mark's a boob with his questions, but I enjoy answering them.
But he loves you because you're from Cleveland and he loves you.
Well, that's all said and good, but his emails suck.
But even though he lives in Florida, his heart is in Cleveland, and you're in Cleveland, and you're his only connection to Cleveland aside from listening to Bill Peters on the internet.
Well, and I'm sure I rate above Bill. I mean, come on.
Right. So of course, your answers are way more important than mine.
Oh, yeah. Sure they are.
Because you're more Cleveland than me.
That's right, because you abandoned Cleveland.
I did.
Sellout.
So anyway, this is what he writes. Hail and kill to all. Hey, Chris and Neely.
Yes.
He spelled my name wrong.
And he got mine right and first.
Yeah. Neely.
No. There's 3 E's in Neely, people.
Right.
We should start not reading any emails that spell your name wrong, because everyone spells your name wrong.
I know.
Look on the website, stupid. It's out there.
After 17 years, I still get it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Thanks for... Now, listen. This guy is like a major fan of Bill Peters' show. He's a major fan of the Metal Madman show.
Right.
I don't think there's a week that goes by where he doesn't mention the Metal Madman in the chat room.
Okay.
Thanks for the best metal show on the net.
Wow.
I'm not sure if he's saying that because he's writing an email or if he actually means that.
I wonder if he says, when he writes the Metal Madman, if he goes, I just want to thank you for doing the second best metal show on the net.
Thanks for the best metal show on the net.
We have to address that with the Metal Madman.
Chris and Neely, the funniest duo since Abbott and Costello?
Abbott and Costello?
What?
Nice.
Since Abbott and Costello?
That's a long-ass time.
I'm telling you what, I don't even find those two that funny. I think they're okay, but I never thought they were that great.
I didn't know they were radio stars.
I thought that you guys are the funniest duo since Lewis and Martin. Seriously, that's what he wrote.
Come on, get it right. We're the funniest duo since Adam and Eve.
Right. Hope you go one. Let's see. Hope you go one all long. Mark needs some grammatical help. Hope you. I think he's saying hope you go as long as the Bill Peters show, 30 years and going strong.
Oh, there it is. We're coming.
But he wrote, hope you go one all long as Bill Peters show.
Right.
Is there any other city that has more metal shows on college radio stations, Chris? See, I told you, it always comes back to you.
Well, for my traveling to every city in the country.
Right.
I would have to say no. There's probably not.
WRUW, WCSB, and WJCU are a few in Cleveland.
Right. Yeah, there's quite a few.
Okay.
And there's quite a few shows within each station, too. So there's a lot of shows that are playing metal in Cleveland. No doubt about that.
Right. Here we go. Hey, Chris.
Yes?
Who is your favorite Browns player?
Really?
That's what he's
Why?
asking. Because it's Cleveland, man.
Who's my favorite Browns player?
Brian Sipe?
Yeah. Does it have to be current or old?
I don't know. He just says, who is your favorite Browns player?
All right. Well, current. Let me see. I don't know. Trent Richardson, I guess. I don't know. Frosty Rucker. I don't know. I'll go with Trent Richardson just because I can't think of anybody else. and all time, Chris Akins, who used to play for the Browns.
Okay.
There you go.
Do you think Jim Brown is the best running back ever?
No, I do not. I would say, I guess he had the better career, but Earl Campbell, when Earl Campbell was playing, there was no stopping that beast.
Yeah, Mr. Big Thighs.
Yeah, Barry Sanders was fucking amazing. OJ, when he wasn't killing people, was pretty fucking good.
Franco Harris.
Franco Harris was pretty good. I hate to admit that, but he was. There's a lot of them, dude. I mean, Leroy Kelly. I mean,
Jerome Bettis.
No, Jerome Bettis. Stop it. Jesus, dude. Leroy Horde. Come on. I don't know. Jim Brown certainly was a great one, but, I think there's been other guys that are in that same category that don't get as much. I would probably say Barry Sanders. Hell, look, we're naming all these guys. We even named the guy that has the record for all the yards, Emmitt Smith.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't think Emmitt Smith was. I think he just had an unbelievable line. But
Right.
I'll say no, and I'll stick with Barry Sanders.
Okay.
There it is.
Who was the guy?
What else can I help you with that Neely's not invited to answer there, Mark?
Who was the Chicago Bear with the pancreatic cancer that died?
Walter Payton.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah, he was good.
So there you are.
Thank you for contributing to my question, Neely.
Thank you. I'm just here as a helper.
Thanks.
Just here
I'm
as a
glad you're
helper.
here to help.
Chris, have you ever met any Browns players?
Yes, I have. Do I need to name them?
I think you need to name them. I think you need to name names.
All right. I have met Bernie Kosar. I have met Mike Pruitt. I have met Greg.
He married a girl from my high school.
Who did? Bernie Kosar?
No. I'm thinking Tim Couch. He married Heather Kosar.
Heather Kosar. You went to school with Heather Kosar?
Yeah, she went to Green.
Did you bang her?
No, she was
Why not?
She was years behind me.
So?
I didn't even know her, dude.
So what? So she's 20 and you were 40 and she was fucking, what, in kindergarten when you were, like, in college.
Right.
So what? Did you bang her?
No. No.
I've met quite a few Browns players, actually, especially because I was in the media. I had opportunities to, meet different guys and whatnot. So I've probably met 20 or 30 Browns players. I'm not going to name them all, but
okay,
I've met quite a few.
Okay. What's new with Chris and Neely, misspelled wrong once again, on heavy metal television?
Nothing, because we're not really addressing it until the first of the year.
Okay. Has anyone seen the Saturday night concert? Is it new shows or stuff that's out on DVD now? I don't know what that is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I do. It's on heavy metal television. It's on Saturday nights. Heavy metal television runs concerts, kind of like MTV used to do way back in the day.
Okay.
And it's kind of a mishmash of both. It's some of it is stuff that's out there that's released, and some of it is stuff that is not. Like they, I'm not sure what is and what isn't, but I believe something that is not released out there, but they ran was like the Judas Priest appearance on the US Festival.
Okay.
Which I don't believe is released commercially, but they had it and they got permission from Priest to run it, so they ran it. Or are going to run it. Maybe I just gave away a secret that's not supposed to be out there. I don't know, but it's a mishmash of both, where they're just doing a concert, a metal concert, Iron Maiden or Lamb of God or whoever, every single week to give you something extra that was cool back when MTV was cool.
Good.
So
all right. Next question. Next topic.
Right.
Did you know AC/DC's iTunes debut sells over 500,000 songs? Has any other band done that? Did the Beatles do that when they released their
Sure, the Beatles did.
catalog on iTunes?
I'm quite sure the Beatles did more than that. And I got to think, is Metallica on iTunes?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're on iTunes because they just released to Spotify too. So I got to think Metallica did. I got to think the Stones did. All the big ones probably do at some point, when they do their release, all these holdout people have, but yeah, certainly the Beatles did, no question.
Sure. All right, and to continue with Mark's enthralling email.
All right.
The new album by former Wasp guitarist Chris Holmes, entitled Nothing to Lose. What do you think of a band going off on their own?
Say that again?
The new album by former Wasp guitarist Chris Holmes
Yeah.
entitled "Nothing to Lose."
Right.
I'm not aware of it.
I'm not aware of it either.
What do you think of band members going off on their own?
Well, clearly that since we were so aware of this one, it's destined for success. I don't know. If they have something to do that's different, go ahead and do it. But they almost universally fail.
Sure.
I mean, on any level with any band, Joe Perry, Keith Richards, Nuno Bettencourt, all of those things have all been commercial failures, haven't they?
I think so. I can't think of anybody who's risen to the top after their involvement in a successful band situation.
Yeah, the only one it would have to be a singer that could transition out, like I don't know, Doro Pesch or Sammy Hagar, certainly Montrose and then solo.
Yeah, but he was a solo guy before.
Yeah, he's in Montrose first, wasn't he?
True. He was in Montrose first, but he, how popular was Montrose prior to Sammy Hagar being a solo artist?
Yeah, I agree. I don't know. I mean, I think a singer could do it. I don't think an instrumentalist could ever do it. Personally, Slash?
Well, Slash is really enjoying some good success, but would he ever be as big as Guns N' Roses on a solo level? No, definitely not. But he is having success. I mean, I guess Slash is probably the biggest. I would have to say Slash is probably the one as far as instrumentalists. But the thing is does Slash stand out as an instrumentalist, or does he stand out as a personality?
Yeah, and I agree with that too.
Because he's Slash. Number one, he's got a name, and number two, he's got that top hat thing going on.
There's something about that dude.
He's a recognizable figure.
Yeah, and I mean, you've seen him play before, obviously, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Dude, that dude has an aura about him that just screams I'm rock and roll.
Sure.
He is fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, he's a personality, though.
He really is. But
so is he the most awesome guitarist? No, I don't think so.
No.
But I think he's got a personality.
Sure. Yeah. No, I mean, Mick Jagger, maybe. Mick had pretty good success solo, but he never quit the Stones.
No.
I mean, does that count?
I don't know. It's tough. But you said singers usually have the most success in that realm.
Yeah. Well, we're missing the obvious here, though, dude.
Phil Collins?
Bret Michaels.
Yeah, but see, Bret parlayed his fame or his personality into, if it wasn't for MTV or The Apprentice or whatever, would anybody really care about Bret Michaels?
Even with all that, nobody cares
I
about
mean, look at Sebastian Bach. Had MTV not given him the opportunity to host some of these, shows that he did,
right? Celebrity rap star.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, would anybody know Sebastian Bach?
I think Phil Collins is a real good one.
Phil transcended Genesis and, as a solo artist.
Yeah. I mean, he was huge as a solo artist.
Peter Cetera.
For a minute.
Yeah, but he had probably a good 10-year run there. With the Karate Kid and then doing all those duets with all the various people like Cher.
Yeah, that's true. I guess so. I guess the whole thing, I mean, to answer his question, because I guess we could sit here and keep naming bands and breakups and whatever for all night, but, bottom line to it is I guess it's possible, but it's not likely.
Not likely.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, enough of this.
This question is for everyone in the chat room.
All right.
On NFL highlights, we're back to the football questions.
Jesus.
The background music I hear is metal. Who picks this and who is playing? Let's see. Who picks this and who is playing? Can anyone name what they have heard? So I guess he's saying what metal songs are being played in the background.
They play Fuel a lot by Metallica. They play
They play Welcome to the Jungle a lot.
a lot of
and
Welcome
they play
to the Jungle.
Crazy Train a lot.
And Metal Health.
Yeah. And Hell's Bells.
Right.
They
Exactly.
play that a lot.
Yeah. Nothing rare.
Let's see. See the list below. Tell me if you're familiar with these bands and your take on them. This is just too long. I'll just run through them real quick, and you can say yes or no.
All right.
Nasty Idols.
Yes.
Yes, I have them here. Jet Black.
No.
I have them. Domino.
No.
The Darkness.
Yes.
Bonafide.
Bonafide? No.
Bonafide.
No.
Beverly Kills. Killz.
No, and with that name, I don't want to.
Southbound Saints.
I've actually heard of them, yes.
I don't know them at all. The Last Vegas.
Yes.
Bullet.
Yes.
Yeah, we've had him here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Danko Jones.
Yes.
Gun. Yes.
Yes.
Smash Fashion.
No.
Never heard of them. Stallion 4.
No.
Never heard of them. Okay, that's it. I like the first 3 Bullet CDs. There is not a bad CD in their first 3. Can you name another band that has their first 3 be hits?
Poison? Well, their first 3 are hits. You can't argue that.
You would agree.
Poison, Guns N' Roses,
True.
AC/DC. Oh, what were their first 3? Yeah, we'll skip them. 'Cause
Okay.
I'll bet you they had a dog in there. Basically, anybody from the '80s that had more than 3 albums.
Right. I mean,
Dokken.
Yeah, sure, Dokken.
Motley Crue.
Right.
Warrant.
Rat.
Winger.
Rat.
Yeah, all of them.
They had pretty big success with their first 3.
Anybody that was an upper tier band in the '80s had 3 successful albums full of hits.
Right.
Obviously not Alias or Kick Tracy,
but they rode the wave.
Yeah, I mean, and that was the wave. I mean, and they put out albums fairly quick so that they could stay on the wave.
Sure, that was the whole thing. We got to turn around. You guys got to tour. You got to hit the studio. You got to get another one out. You got to go tour. Got to hit the studio, get another one out. You got to go tour.
Right. That was how it worked.
And that's why they burned out so quick.
I don't know. You say so quick. I don't think it burned out that quick.
Well, you got to look at the height of this. Started about 84. And
yeah, but I mean, it actually launched before that, though.
It launched, but I'm talking about the height, though, when the frenzy of it all really came to fruition.
Yeah, it would have been 84. I mean, I always point to about 82 when it launched.
Well, it launched in 82, but I'm talking about when it really took notice.
Right.
So we're talking like 83, 84, and it burned out about 89.
You think it burned out in 89?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was on the downhill decline in about 89.
Sure, but it was still the dominant music until Nirvana.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the top tier bands that were really kicking ass.
Well, yeah, that's true.
By
the end, it was all Firehouse and fucking
That's
Alias.
my point. I'm talking about the top tier bands that were really kicking ass, like the Rats, the Cinderellas, the God forbid, the Poisons.
Right.
Those guys were at the pinnacle at that point, but from then on, it was a downhill slide.
Yeah, and then we got all those bands
because 1990 launched the Slaughter era, and that's when it started going into third tier. It did.
So would you call Slaughter the best band of the third tier?
They I would say that they topped the heap of the third tier bands.
Right, so who was the last of the second tier?
The last of the second tier, probably like Keel.
You think Keel was better than Slaughter?
No. I'm talking. They were earlier than Slaughter.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I'm saying that they were before.
Okay, and then when Slaughter came out, then we got that wave of whiny high singers.
Exactly.
Right. I agree with that. That's fair.
So because like the Bullet Boys, they didn't come out till 88.
Right.
So they were at like the top of the second tier wave.
Yeah, I agree.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, I get it.
And then like Slaughter came out in 90 and they were at the top of the third tier.
Right.
And then you got the Kick Tracy's, and then you got, then you got into the, what was that? What was that band that just reemerged from New Jersey? The guys, 4 guys, PJ Snare, PJ.
Trickster.
Trickster. There you go. Then
Right.
you started into the Trickster thing, and
Yeah, it did go right down the shitter.
But the
Kid
top,
Joe.
but the top of the heap at the time was the Motley Crues, the Rats, the Dawkins, they were the first tier, and they started burning out about 88 or 89.
Right, exactly. Dude, do you remember, since we're talking about Slaughter, and God, we're doing a music show tonight, but fuck, do you remember how wildly popular they were when they came out?
They were huge.
They were monstrous. That is amazing to me because I like Slaughter personally, but I just don't hear it. I never understood why. And the songs that were popular were not good songs by them. Shout It Out and fucking Up All Night. Those are not great
about
songs.
you.
Yeah, mad about. Those are not. Every time they had a hit, it was like the worst song on the album, man.
Well, but they were popular at that point, but it didn't last.
No, it sure didn't last.
So they they captured, I guess let me use a cliche term. They captured lightning in a jar.
Yeah, they did.
And that was it.
Yep.
Because I remember when they came out, because when I was working at a, out in California, the secretary, she's just like, oh my God, I picked up this band called Slaughter.
Yeah.
And she was just like playing it like crazy, the Stick It To Ya.
Right.
And she was just like, crazy about it.
I like that album, though. I ain't gonna lie. Eye to Eye and shit like that. Those are good tunes.
About that, huh?
That's good stuff, dude. I like that stuff. I liked a lot of the shit that they did it way after it was over.
Right.
The Back to Reality record I loved. I liked the one American Pie was pretty good. Whatever that album was called, Revolution or something.
Yeah, Revolution, right?
Yeah, that was pretty solid. The one with where the girl is tonguing the snake.
Yeah.
Fear No Evil.
Fear No Evil.
That kicks ass. That's a great album.
Sure.
I liked Slaughter. I'm one of those that liked them, but I agree with you. They were definitely third tier.
Well, I didn't dislike them. I just, I just thought. Now listen to this real quick.
All right.
Same style, right?
Yeah.
That was that was the Cult way back in 1984.
Oh, no shit.
Same thing.
Nice. It's funny.
So there you go. Nothing new under the sun.
So you try to make me like the Cult now?
No, I'm just saying that it wasn't original.
No, of course not.
All right, dude. Well, listen, I got to get James Rivera on the phone.
All right, sounds good.
James Rivera, he's promoting 30 Years of Hell, just Hel.
Ooh, wow.
Hellstar.
Hellstar, so it's 30 Years of Hell with one L.
Yeah, and it's not the Texas Love Child either.
No, well, that's good.
But they are a band from Texas, nevertheless.
Right.
And 30 years?
I guess so.
I'm going to be honest with you. I wasn't aware of Hellstar until you brought them to my attention years ago.
Yeah.
And, well, anyway,
I'm a fan. I am a fan. I don't know their songs real well, but I like their sound.
Oh, I do too. I wasn't aware of them until
there's just a collection of that style of band that was out there, and ironically Rivera's been in most of them, but like Vicious Rumors is another one.
Sure.
Same style. Most people don't know much about them, but they know that when they hear them, it kicks ass. And
right.
And Hellstar seriously is one of them.
Right. Well, I thought I would play a song here, Baptized in Blood.
Ooh, wow, that sounds mean.
It is mean. And I thought I'd get James Rivera on the phone, and we'll talk to him.
All right, from Slaughter to Hellstar.
Right. Slaughtering to Hellstar to being baptized in blood.
There it is. Beautiful.
We're using the blood of the slaughtered.
That's right.
All right, James Rivera from Hellstar coming up. Talk about Baptized in Blood, Hellstar, 30 Years of Hell. So let's play it. Talk to James. We'll be back. It's
All right.
Hellstar exclusively here
on your classic metal show.